Hey students, Mr. Lupa here. This is part 2 of solving multi-step equations. I just made a video going over number 1 and all the steps we take and how it works. So I want to show you guys number 2 because you're going to see different types of scenarios in these multi-step equations. You're going to see parentheses with distribution. You're going to see fractions, subtraction, negative numbers, and numbers and variables on the other side. We follow the same steps, the same rules apply. I just want to show you guys what that looks like. So we have 2 times parentheses x plus 4, close parentheses, equals 18. And there's 2 ways of solving this, and it shows you the 2 ways of doing it. So I'm going to walk you guys through it. We talked about distribution, right? So if we have a number on the outside, and we can't do anything in parentheses, right? We can't say x plus 4. We don't know what that is. We can't do that math. So to get rid of those parentheses, we can distribute the outside number to the inside. We multiply, right? So it becomes 2 times x. Let me zoom in a little. Plus 2 times 4. 2 times 4. And then equals 18. We just brought that down. Stays the same. We're going to keep bringing it down if we don't do anything with it. Now we go 2 times x is just 2x. And then we have 2 times 4. We could do that. So we're going to do that. 2 times 4 is 8. We're left with 2x plus 8 equals 18. Now, if you look at this now looks like number 1, right? We just have a number times a variable plus a number equals another number. We have 2x plus 8 equals 18. So now we're going to do what we did with the first one. We're going to move everything away from the x to get x by itself to get our answer, right? You can see it down here. We're going to get x equals 5. So how do we get there? Like I said in the first video, I like to move the numbers further away from the x first. It's easier. So if you have plus 8, do the opposite. Subtract 8. And you need to do it to the other side too to keep it balanced. So 8 minus 8 will become 0. 18 minus 8 will now be 10. And as we do this, guys, feel free to use a calculator to check your work. We don't want to goof little math calculations along the way. I just want you guys to get the process down, all right? So we got rid of the 8. We subtracted 8 from both sides. 8 minus 8 becomes 0. 18 minus 8 becomes 10. So we get 2x plus 0 equals 10. So then we don't need that 0 plus 0. It's not needed, so we just rewrite it as 2x equals 10. This is the part where you either divide by 2 to each side or multiply by the reciprocal. Same thing, right? What I showed you guys, my way of doing it, was I personally just prefer to divide. So 2 times x, opposite of multiplying is, opposite of timesing is dividing. So this cancels out. And we're left with x. 10 divided by 2 is 5. You get there. You could have also multiplied by reciprocal. 1/2 times 2 is 1. 1/2 times 10 is 5. All right. Do whichever way you prefer, but it'll get you the same answer if you do the math calculation correctly. Here's another way of doing this. We have that 2 on the outside, right? Now I could distribute like I did here, or I can get rid of this 2 right off the bat. So I could just say, hey, this is 2 times all of this stuff, right? Why don't I just divide by 2? This cancels out. Divide by 2. 18 divided by 2 is 9. And 2 divided by 2 is 1. So I get here. And 1 times anything is just whatever that number is, right? So I'm left with x plus 4 equals 9. So now this looks like number 1, right? Well, even shorter because we don't have anything attached to the x now. So we're left with x plus 4 equals 9. How do I get x by itself? Well, we have plus 4. You do the opposite, subtract 4. And if I do it to one side, I need to do it to the other. So 4 minus 4 is going to be 0. 9 minus 4 is going to be 5. X plus 0 is just x, right? Bring down the equal sign, bring down the 5, you get x equals 5. Right, over here we got x equals 5. Same answers. Now let's check this. I'm going to plug in my x. I said, where'd my thing go? If x equals 5, I can rewrite the original problem of 2 times parentheses x, but instead of x, I'm going to write what it equals, 5 plus 4 equals 18. This is how we check our work. I can distribute, or I can do what's in parentheses. I'm going to do what's in parentheses because 5 plus 4 is pretty easy to do, right? I'm following PEMDAS, my order of operations. We need to do what's in parentheses first. I can't say 2 times 5 plus 4. That's not right. I could say 2 times 5 plus 2 times 4. Or I could just jump right in and do what's in parentheses. 5 plus 4 is 9 equals 18. And then I'm left with 2 times 9. What's 2 times 9? 18 equals 18. Does 18 equal 18? Yes, it does. It's a true statement. Okay? So good idea to check your work. If you get a different number equals some number, that means you messed up along the way and you need to go back and see what went wrong. All right? Those are good learning experiences. Feel free to use a calculator to check your work, or even ask a neighbor if you can't figure it out. Do what you got to do to get this done. I know it's going to take a lot of practice, but you guys will all get there. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. And you know what? Hold on. Let's check. I want to show you guys what to do. So number 1 is just like number 2 from the back page. All right. Number 2 is a little different because we have a negative. So all I'm going to say is when you guys get here and you're going to multiply by the reciprocal or divide by -2 to get that -2 out of there, you're just dividing by a negative number, right? So you guys we did this earlier in the year. Just make sure you're doing the calculations correctly with negative numbers, all right? For number 3, what's different about this? This is subtracting instead of adding. So if I have -18, I got to do the opposite to get rid of it. So I could say -18 plus 18. And if I do it to one side, I need to do it to the other, okay? Doesn't matter if you guys write your steps like this, up and down, or across like you saw in the example. But -18, this is like saying plus -18, right? So these two will cancel out, and here on this side, I'll get 20. So then I'll be left with 1/3 y equals 20. So now you need to get rid of that 1/3. You could divide by 1/3 or multiply by the reciprocal. Do it to each side. And then this will cancel out. You're left with y equals 20 times 3/1, which is basically 20/1. Multiply straight across, you'll get your answer. Here, once again, you're subtracting. What I recommend you do to make your lives easier is change it to adding. So it could be plus -8. Remember, if you change it to adding, the number becomes the opposite. So it was a +8, now it's negative. If it was a -8, it would have become positive. I think it's easier to work with it like that. But if you want to keep it as subtracting, you can. And number 5, I like that they did this because they put the variable on the other side. It doesn't matter, right? You're going to move the number further away from x out of there first. So it could become plus 13. This cancels out. This becomes 28 equals 5k. And then you're going to do what we did on the side, right? We got to get that 5 out of there. So you want to divide by 5 or multiply by the reciprocal and then do it to the other side as well, and you will get your answer for k. Just a heads up, not all of your answers will be nice integers, nice whole numbers. They might be fractions, they might be negative. So if you get an answer that's a fraction or a decimal or a negative, it doesn't mean you're wrong. What you should do is plug in your answer for the original problem and just replace the variable with whatever you got for your answer for the variable. Okay? And then do the math and see if it equals the other side. That's how you know you're right. Hope this helps. Let me know if you guys have any questions.